Yes, it's Wednesday night. We haven't done this for a minute, but I got a cold beverage here. I'm ready to rock. I'm ready to talk some fights. Put the questions in the chat. Let me know what's on your mind. What do you want to know about this UFC 288 card? We got 14 fights. We got 28 fighters. We've probably got 35 props available on each one of these fights. We got to figure out some stuff to talk about right now because this is a good card. And there's been a lot of cards recently where I feel like you could have been very light and not had to gamble on a lot of those fights just because there were a lot of unknown quantities. This card is not like that. We've got a lot of known quantities on this one. And even where we got a couple unknown quantities with the fighters, we have some potential outcomes that seem to be foregone conclusions almost. So we got to figure out the angles. We got to figure out how to make some money on this card because it's going to be fun just watching this one, man. But making money on it, that's going to make it 3 times as sweet. Now, I want syrup on my flapjacks. I want butter on my flapjacks. Not like that bullshit butter they give you at the cheap diners where you got to take the little fucking lid off of it that's like tin foil. No. I want a big block of Kerrygold Irish butter from grass-fed cows, and I want to take a big just chunk of that, put it on the hot flapjacks with the hot syrup, and let it just melt. And I want to eat those flapjacks, and I want to really enjoy them. I want them to be sweet and filling and satisfying, like cash and bets, baby. So let's all figure it out, man. What's up with you guys in the chat? I don't prepare for this show. I don't prepare. I turn on the camera and I let you guys steer where we're going here. So we got my guy Nigel Lee, a.k.a. at Money Bank Locks, in the room saying, as Wednesdays are one of my favorite days, I'm debating starting a petition to also make it Ask Uncle Weezy Day as well. What do you say, Unc? Secondly, bless us with story time and the ass shaving of the week. Yeah, man. Well, let me tell you something, Nigel. If you're waiting for those pricks in Congress to get off their ass and do anything, you're going to be waiting a long time. You're going to be 6 feet underground with maggots eating your eyeballs before those losers in D.C. do anything. Because if you think that I haven't been writing them letters this whole time saying when are you pricks going to get off your ass and make Wednesday Ask Uncle Weezy Day, you'd be wrong, because I have been writing that letter. I have been writing my congressman. Jan Schakowsky, you fraud. You suck. Ask Weezy Day, not exactly in your top priorities. Well, then what are your priorities? They're worthless, just like you. Nigel, I wish our political system worked better, but it doesn't. It doesn't. And these pricks in DC, they're not going to get off their asses. They're not going to listen to the people, because the people are chanting from the rooftops, Ask Uncle Weezy Day, but are they listening? No, they only listen to the people who give them a bunch of money. They're a bunch of frauds, phonies, losers. Hollywood? Nah, man. DC is Hollywood for ugly people and corrupt people. So I appreciate you, Nigel. You're one of the good ones, man, but those pricks in DC aren't going to do shit. Maybe we'll figure out a story time a little bit later on here. I don't have anything in the chamber, as it were, but maybe I'll be reminded of something, and we'll go in that direction. Good to see you, Nigel. And my guy Victor De Jesus is in the room saying, "Oi, yes, what's up, Weezy in chat? Hey, Weezy, any money line or props worth max betting this weekend?" So I will confess to you that there's been something that I've been thinking about max betting all week, and I just haven't pulled the trigger yet. BetOnline.ag. We're going to go to sports. We're going to go to martial arts. We're going to go to MMA. We're going to go to UFC 288. Joseph Holmes, Claudio Ribeiro. Went to minus 400. It was minus 350, Vic. And I don't get in the habit of wanting to max bet something that's minus 400. My downside is 5 units. My upside is 1.25 units. But goddamn, I don't think that this fight, I just don't see it going really even into the third round. Joseph Holmes' gas tank is absolutely horrible. So, and both of these guys hit really hard. And if it goes to the ground and Holmes gets to a dominant position, he's very live for a submission. So, I really kind of think that this is probably my favorite fight doesn't go to decision of the week. So I do like that. I think that you could max bet that and it would be relatively sweat free. But man, if it were minus 300, Vic, I probably would pull the trigger because then I'd be saying, well, now my upside's 1.67 units. It's a little bit better implied probability. It leaves me a little more room for error. But at minus 400, I don't know, man. That's the bet that I've been looking at the most. So let's just refresh best fight odds and see if there are any other ones on that fight. There we go. Ribeiro Holmes. Fight doesn't go. Minus 400, pretty much across the board. Minus 350 if you have Betway. And I mean, I think it's a good look. I really don't see that fight going even into the third round. I think that's a potential good max bet. Kennedy and Checo at minus 180 starting to look pretty appealing to me. Drew Dober, the other ass shaving of the week at minus 210. What else do I got for my guy Vic here? That would be it. I think I love that fight doesn't go to decision for Ribeiro Holmes. That would be the only thing I would consider putting 5 units on this week. I just wish the line had a little more value in it, but it doesn't. So, believe me, Vic, if something else crosses my mind, I will definitely let you know. We got my guy DFS by the numbers is in the room. You know what he has to say to you guys? Oi! What's up, Brady? Good to see you in here, my man. We got TJ Spartacus is in the room saying, Uncle Weez. What's up, TJ? Thanks for hanging out with us today. We got Dick's Insider saying, Weezy, please tell me our Kennedy Dover parlay is going to cash. I got a lot of units on that, so I hedged with a Frivola plus Clark parlay. Hold my hand and tell me it's going to be okay. Give me your hand. Give me your hand, Dixon. Let your Uncle Weezy assure you on this one. Let's start with the Kennedy fight, right? Look at all of Devin Clark's wins. He's really got to grind something out. He doesn't necessarily have this. He's going to go in the cage and he's going to go through you like a hot knife through butter, right? He's got to fight a really smart and really defensive fight for the full 15 minutes. Kennedy, I mean, I think that if Kennedy, can now start to not only maintain distance with his striking, be a little busier on the feet, but mixing in the grappling really takes his upside and brings it to another level because this guy is not, he shouldn't be able to make 205 pounds. I don't know how he does it. I don't know why we've never even seen Kennedy miss weight or be that guy that's last to the scale. This guy, he's going to fucking kill Devin Clark. My condolences to everybody who's got money on the Devin Clark money line this week. You're gonna feel like you made a dumb bet. This guy Kennedy is so much better than Devin Clark. His upside is on a scale of 1 to 100 is like 95, and Devin's is like 30. So Devin is gonna have to wrestle. And he could land a big shot on the feet too. These guys are 205 pounds, and even Devin Clark, who really doesn't have knockout power, he swings with purpose, and if he hits you right, you're going down. But I think that Kennedy's going to make this look easy. And then my guy Brady, DFS by the numbers in the Discord today, DM'd me and said that Matt Frivola said today that he's going to be the first person to ever knock Drew Dober out. Now, if I was Matt Frivola's coach, there would be one or two things that would be happening. Like, I would either be listening to him and saying, excellent, he's lying, just like I told him to. And I know that he's going to go in there and wrestle because he promised me. And me as his coach, I told him, if you don't wrestle, I'm going to walk out on you midway through the first round and to drop you as a pupil. So I think that one of the reasons that he might have said that was because he does plan on wrestling and keeping his chin safe. And, but he's at home in front of his home fans, and he might want to be going out there, put his big balls in a wheelbarrow and say, I am going to be the first person to knock Drew Dober out. I'm going to do it in front of my home fans, and the place is going to go absolutely crazy when I do it. If that's the plan, Drew Dober, you just don't stand in front of that guy and go punch for punch with him. Nobody wins that battle. There have been a lot of really good strikers that have tried to do that with him. The guy who knocked you out with one punch, Terrence McKinney, he tried that with Dober. It didn't work, and it's probably not going to work with Frivola either. So if Dober, does get the Matt Frivola who comes out there and he's saying to himself, I'm going to knock this motherfucker out, cash the Drew Dober bet, because unless his chin cracks that day and that night, he's going to win that fight. So yeah, I like it. I have one unit on it myself, Dixon. So let's cash this thing. I put a dual ass shaving this week out there because I was confident in both of them. And I just decided to kind of, hey, it's a pay-per-view week. Let's step it up. Let's do a little something extra for the people. So that's what's going on. And TJ Spartacus saying, oi, what up? Dude, hopefully it's our bank accounts, our bankrolls, our units. That's what's up this week, man. We got Kyle Kelly in the room. What's up, Kyle? And he's saying, yo, Unc, if the crochet boss Maurice Green and Virna had a baby, would both eyes be crossed? That's an excellent question. And the answer is probably a 25% chance yes, right? Because you're going to have one dude with crossed eyes and you're going to have one woman with crossed eyes. And let's say that they have a baby, right? Well, probably a 50% chance that they have crossed eyes. But if they get that double gene, 1 and 2 times 1 and 2, it's 1 and 4, 25%. Yes, I do have a degree in statistics, and you can just stick that in your pipe and smoke it. That's high-level math. That's why you come here to watch your Uncle Weezy break these fights down. So, yeah, man, I think that's a 25% chance that both eyes would be crossed, and that poor kid. Then you would just have to give him a Zhalgas Zhumagulov haircut, and then it would pretty much be guaranteed to be a serial killer by the age of 17. Dixon, what's up, dude? Saying, you got any Invicta action? I do not. I don't even know who's fighting. Or Jillian DeCourcy's fighting, I think I saw. But no, man. I've been working this UFC 288 card. And then after we're done tonight, you guys, I'm going to be staying up late. And I'm going to be getting a start on the stats for 2.5 weeks from now. So that my Patreon members are going to get those on Friday so that they can have 17 days in advance, or 15 actually, to get started on the research for that card. So I do not, man. And we've got sorry, Nigel. I saw this one. So you're not a fan of I Can't Believe It's Not Butter. All right, so I am a fan of the old I Can't Believe It's Not Butter commercial where they had Fabio as the spokesman for I Can't Believe It's Not Butter, and they got the camera on him, and he said it just like this: I can't believe it's not butter. That's how Fabio, the male model, said I can't believe it's not butter. So, yeah, that stuff is fucking terrible, man. No self-respecting human being is ever putting that stuff on their flapjacks if there's any other way to get real butter on there. And if that's you, if you've got that crap in your refrigerator and you're feeling like I'm maybe being a little bit of a snob, I'm not. I'm right. You're wrong. Throw that shit out. Go get the real shit. Go get the Kerrygold. Thank your Uncle Weezy later. We got Daz Files in the room saying Hiberos, Holmes with Porter Fridge under 2.5 parlay at minus 140. Dude, I love it. I love it. So I guess what you're saying there, are they both under 2.5s, Daz Files? Or is it like Hiberos Holmes fight doesn't go to decision? With the Porter Fridge under 2.5. But dude, if that's what it is, if it's either under 2.5s for both, or if it's the fight doesn't go for Hubero Holmes with the Porter Fridge under 2.5, I think it cashes. I think that could be that could Victor to Jesus. How about a max bet parlay? Fight doesn't go to decision. Let's see what we're getting on that on DraftKings right now. Fight props. Fight to go the distance. No. For Braxton Smith, minus 750. God help us. And then Hibero Holmes minus 450. Comes out to minus 263. It's terrible. It hits, though. We could put 5 units on that, and we'd get back almost 2. And it hits. It hits, but god damn, a max bet parlay, and you're still laying minus 263. To start round X, what's fight starts round 3? No, minus 225. So maybe if we do, or we could go to Fight Line's alternative total, and we could do the under 2.5 at minus 300. And then maybe we could parlay that with the under 2.5 for Braxton minus 500. Gets us minus 167. I could just see myself screaming at the television about a minute and a half into round 3 at Parker Porter and Braxton Smith. You fat fucks, one of you finish each other. I could see that. I'm that was my mind just going ahead into the future, being like, the problem with that bet, the under 2.5 is that if Braxton Smith doesn't get a finish in the first 2.5 minutes, can Parker Porter finish even an exhausted refrigerator at this level? And the answer still might be no. And then you'd be sitting there literally throwing your remote through your television because that fat fuck would not finish him. But this could be something that I think it makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. And maybe we could even get a little bit greedier, and we go the round props, and we do fight to start round 3, no, for Smitty versus Porter. We get that down to minus 143. God, I hate parlays. I hate parlays. They never seem to work out. Violence parlays in a big cage seem like they find ways to not happen, but this is about as good as it gets here, man. I like that. I like that parlay. We got PC Strickland MMA. This is Sean Strickland's politically correct account saying, I'll be at the card, gonna streak through the front. That's awesome. Oh, I love it. Found Porter Fridge under 2.5 for minus 380. That's not bad, dude. That's a good one. I like that, man. I like that. And when they say that somebody's streaking during the Jandaroba fight, you're gonna know it's my guy Sean Strickland's PC accounts. I love it. That's great stuff. That's, by the way, that is comment of the show so far goes to my man PC Strickland MMA. We got Green Bat in the house saying, in the beginning there was Jack, and Jack had a groove. And from this groove came the grooves of all grooves. And while one day viciously throwing down on his box, Jack boldly declared, let there be house. My man Green Bat talking to us with some classic Chicago house from the late 1980s. Who would that have been? It's Farley Jackmaster. Yeah, Farley. Farley. Oh man, the old house music. I got it right back here. Got to get this mixing board working again. It's been too long. We got DJ in the room saying, oh, yes, weird question. So I got my ass shaved the past few weeks, mainly on confident favorites. Is there a stat out there to measure the reliability of a fighter in underdog/favorite spots? No, there isn't. But the best way to look at it, DJ, and this is the way that I look at it, and take every single line that you have and convert it into an implied probability. So I'm going to do it here. Like this, my prop template here will convert any line into an implied probability. So let's say you're betting on a minus 380 favorite, right? So When you see that minus 380 in there, now it's going to correspond to whatever implied probability is computed here. So a minus 380, it computes to a 78% implied probability. And what you have to understand now, when you're making that bet, if you're betting it straight, let's say, right? You have to understand that you want to be always a little more sure than what the implied probability is. And you think of the implied probability as the price. And with any bet that you're making, you're going to pay between 1 penny and $1. That's the best way to think of it. So you take that percentage and you just convert it into a decimal. So 75% becomes 0.75. 42.5% becomes 0.425. And that's the price of the line that you're buying. And what you need to do is when you start laying juice, when you're minus 200, minus 220, oh, this woman's favorite, she's going to win this fight. I like her to win here. Minus 200, minus 225, minus 250. It doesn't matter. She's going to win. She's going to cash the ticket. The price always matters because you're not just gambling in a vacuum. It's not just 1 week, right? That's how Vegas makes money, is they're saying you can destroy us on any one spin of the wheel, on any one bet. You have that bet, it's independent of everything else that's happening. And you either cash or you don't. But what they need you to do if you're going to be a profitable customer to them is they need you to keep playing, right? And if you keep playing, when you're playing that game, the numbers are against you. And in the long term, the longer you stay there, the more the probabilities start to converge on a certain point. And it's always converging below that line that you need to be profitable. So if you're getting shaved betting on favorites, start to make that decision and say to yourself, if I were to make this bet 10 times, am I hitting it? Because you better be hitting it at least 8 fucking out of 10 times. And then just go and think how many times things have went tits up for you in the past when you've went out there and you've laid juice. So don't just look at the line. Convert that line to an implied probability and think of it as a price. And then say to yourself, if I make this bet 10 times in a row, am I damn fucking sure that this happens 9 out of 10 times? And if you're not, you shouldn't be making it. Because if it's only 8 times, then you're only making $2 over a $10, if you're making 10 $10 bets, if you get right 8 times and you lose 2, now you've made just like $2. It's not enough. It's a 2% return on investment. That's not bad. I mean, but it's better than a fucking savings account. But still, at the end of the day, you're trying to make more. So if we're going to be doing this on the long term, we have to have an understanding of always the price that we're paying. It's something that you have to be very cognizant of if you're buying and selling stocks or cryptocurrency, or if you're flipping houses. The price that you buy that house for and the price that you're going to pay to fix it up, that has to be less than what you're planning on selling it for. And if it doesn't work, then you're overpaying. Well, we have to think of it that way, DJ, when we gamble as well. That minus 150 is a price. That plus 500 is a price. And we're trying to weigh that outcome that we have in our head for this event over a 10, 100, 1,000 fight sample size. And then we say, is that above the price that they're asking us to pay? And if it is, then we want to make that bet. And the larger that gap is in our favor, the larger the bet that we make. DJ saying, call it the bed shitter ratio. Maybe your background as an actuary can help. Appreciate you. Yeah, I think I explained it all to you right there, man. That's how it works. That's the game that we're playing, is that we can make a bunch of money on any particular event, but are we going to be back to gamble next week? And if the answer is no, then who cares? Just cash the fucking bets. Lay whatever price you want to fucking lay, because you're not going to be back next week. And then all you need to do is hit. But if you're coming back next week, make sure that you're paying the right price. We got Zhalgas going to be introduced as Zhalgas, the Kazakh Beetle, Zhumagulov. Yeah, that haircut. If you guys haven't seen it yet, Let me see if I can just get a Google. I just do Zhalgas Zhumagulov. Bowl cut. Hopefully we get something. There it is. Look at that fucking haircut, dude. Oh my God. Look at that fucking haircut. Can you believe that shit? I mean, look at the look on his face. It looks like dudes drugged him and then fucking held him down and then cut his hair like that. And then like they kind of like dragged him into the room, plopped him down on the chair, and then like stood him up so that he wouldn't go over either way. And then like they kind of propped his eyes open and then took that picture one time before he just slumped off the chair and fell off in a lifeless heap. Look at that man. I mean, if that's not a sad man, and I mean, how could you not be sad? I mean, like, look at that haircut, right? You're wearing a reminder on your head of your bad decisions for everybody to see. And I mean, it's right there. You can't deny it. Somebody could go and be like, you got a terrible haircut. And you'd be like, no, you got a terrible haircut. No. It's you, Zhalgas. Nobody made you do that. I mean, at least I hope nobody made you do it. And if somebody did make him do that, they should be fucking held responsible. They should be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law because it's not okay. It's not okay, everybody. So, I mean, I bet 1 unit on him. I got plus 160 before this photo surfaced, you know? So what can I do now? Can I hire a lawyer? No. I ask Bet Online for my money back. They're like, fuck no, dude. You see that dude's haircut? No, we're not giving you that money. You're going to lose. And so now I have to pay for, his haircut cost me money. I'm not okay with that. And so if somebody did do that to him, give yourself up. Turn yourself in because it's not okay what you did to this man. It's not okay what the judges have done to this man. He's got 7 wives to go home to. You disappoint one wife, it ruins your fucking week. This guy's got 7 of them. Can we have a little compassion? Can we have a heart? Dixon. Love hearing that quote from Frivola. Yeah, I mean, if you got money on Dober, you'll love hearing it. And as a fan, even if you don't have any money on that fight, shit, man, that's going to be a hell of a way to kick off the pay-per-view. Win or lose on that. If your Uncle Weezy winds up betting on Drew Dober the first time he gets knocked out, so be it, dude. Let it be Frivola that does it to him. Frivola's a stud, great fighter, fan favorite, fighting at home. That one's going to be a great way to start off the main card. And sorry, I don't want all of you guys to tune out, so I'm going to take that picture off of and I apologize. I appreciate everybody that comes to watch my shows, and I shouldn't have had that picture up on the screen for that long because that's me not being nice to the people that watch my show. And I appreciate each and every one of you. Hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up if you haven't already. I appreciate you. We got Any Action Effie's in the house saying, oi, what's up, Effie? Good to see you hanging out in here. We got Jerry Curry saying, oi, can't wait to watch Porker win by first round key lock. It could happen. We could see Braxton Lewis, the first guy to get, or Braxton Smith, right? Yeah, it's Smith. He could be the first guy to get submitted by a key lock in the UFC since the year 1989, I believe. We got Vic saying, hey, Weezy, I see a lot of people on Yan Xiaonan. Please tell them they're wrong and why. I have Andrade and Chekwu as my top 2 tickets, and all these people on Yan are making me kind of nervous. All right, so if this fight takes place at distance striking range for the full 15, I think Yan will look minus 250. Okay. But this is why we have these numbers, right? Look at Jessica Andrade, 23 fights in the UFC, right? 71 takedown attempts. So she's a willing wrestler. She's a busy wrestler. And a lot of willing wrestlers, they're not going to get takedowns at a good clip, You don't see a lot of people with takedown percentages in the 50s, right? Look at Bilal Muhammad, great wrestler, 35% accuracy. Gilbert Burns, 37% accuracy. I mean, Henry Cejudo is a gold medal winning, wrestler. He still only gets his takedowns at 33.87%. But Jessica Andrade, she's going out there and taking these hoes down at a 55% clip. So she can wrestle. And we see here for Yan Xiaonan, 25% control time allowed. But let's dig a little deeper, Vic. First of all, these are the control time numbers for Jessica Andrade over her career, right? You see a lot of numbers here. And like a lot of these fights at the bottom are 135-pound fights. Now, she hasn't been going to the wrestling as much recently, right? You see one takedown here, two here, one here, two here, 146 seconds of control time. She's not doing it much. But here, 10, 4, 2, 2, 2, 4, 3. And you see these big numbers, 435, 515, 211, 209, 208, 547, right? This is right around the beginning of her 115-pound tenure. So she is understanding when grappling is to her favor. And she's going out there and taking down girls like Joanne Calderwood, like Angela Hill, even grappling with Claudia Gadelha, who doesn't really have the best striking. So we know that we can count on Jessica to grapple should it be to her favor to do so. And then we're going to look at Yan. Now, let's go over here to what she allows, right? Look at these control time numbers, Vic. And Kaylin Curran, in her debut, controlled her for 463 seconds in a 900 fight. 406 here, 438 here, 559. She's been controlled more than 6 minutes in 3 out of her last 4 fights. Only one of them was 5 rounds, too. And Mackenzie Dern's a terrible wrestler. Mackenzie Dern gets her takedowns at 15%, not 55%, which is what Jessica does. So if Jessica doesn't, if she's not satisfied at distance striking range, if she's walking forward, if she's closing distance, and Yan Xiaonan doesn't have the proper footwork to be able to dance around and pot shot, she's going to close that distance. She's going to get takedowns, and she's going to win this fight. But if Yan pulls off, like this crazy great performance, if she pulls off like a Julio Arce versus Willie Catch Santos, when Santos made his debut, go watch what Arce did to him. He skirted around the outside of the cage, used his reach, popped his jab, and just scored while Willie Catch was hitting nothing but fresh air. I don't think Yan Xiaonan is that good of a boxer as Julio Arce is. So we'll see. But I think Jessica Andrade gets the job done. And I think if she gets 2 or 3 takedowns, she's got a really good chance to finish the fight on the ground. Should you hedge with Yan by decision? I don't like hedging. I don't like hedging pre-fight starting. You know what I'm saying? Because it's admitting to myself that I don't like the read in the first place. So I don't think I would. I would trust your read. And I think if Jessica fights the way that you expect her to, Victor, you're going to cash that bet. And I think if she doesn't, then that's on her. She made the bad decision. Jessica Andrade knows she's not going to win a 15-minute striking match with Yan Xiaonan at distance. She knows that. She's 5'1". She fights this way for a reason. She knows she has to close the distance. My guy David Milks in the room. What's up, David? Good to see you in here, my man. And he's saying, "Oi, does this late edition Diego Lopez have any chance at all against the 16-0 Evloev?" Dude, I don't think so, man. I mean, I think really what would have to happen, Dave, is Evloev gets an early takedown when they're both dry, and Lopez just locks something up, and Evloev has to tap or he goes to sleep. But I mean, remember that Darce choke that he was in from Mike Grundy? He was in that Darce choke. It was deep. I mean, it looked like Evloev, like he takes naps in that position. I mean, I don't think you're getting this guy out of there, and I don't think you're doing it on 3 days' notice. And if Joe Anderson Brito, a guy who's known primarily for his striking, can take you down 3 rounds in a row and get like 11 minutes of control time against you, then imagine how easy Movsar Evloev is going to make it look. So now I don't think, David, that this kid has any chance, but it's MMA. Nothing is ever a lock. The kid could go out there, land one calf kick, deaden the kid's lower leg, and Evloev could sprain his ankle with drop foot and lose the fight. We all know how this game works. Shit happens sometimes, but I kind of feel like if Diego Lopez gets a win here, it's not going to be like him going out there and 10-8 in this dude for 3 straight rounds. It's going to be like somebody shot Movsar Evloev from the balcony with a blow dart. That's why he lost. It's going to be some wild story or some wild cheating or some crazy shit. So yeah, I think that Evloev gets the job done. Daz File saying both under 2.5 for your parlay with the Braxton Smith fight and with the Hibero fight. I love that parlay, Daz. I think that's a really good one. And I mean, I would probably go even more than 1.4 units to win one on that. It might be something I would even consider max betting. Boob is in the house saying, Weezy, do you think it was an accident that Aldana was given the title shot after Pena magically pulled out? First Yair, then Grasso, now Aldana. Almost like it was intentional. Yeah, dude, I don't put anything past the UFC. I believe that if their board of directors got in a room and said, hey, look, if we could have 3 Mexican champions by the end of the year, we're predicting a 15% bump in revenue, they would do whatever it took to get 3 Mexican champions. This is a corporation. Their number one priority is profits and shareholder wealth. So they're going to do whatever it takes. I don't think that they care about the integrity of the sport. I don't really think that they care about anything except for what's going to put more asses in the seats, what's going to get more pay-per-view buys, and what's going to allow them to pay these fighters less and less as they take huger risks to go out and make these Disney creeps money. So, yeah, man, I wouldn't be surprised if it was intentional at all. I'm down for UFC conspiracy theories, boob. We got Dixon saying, I want to sprinkle Aldana TKO rounds 3, 4, and 5 in that fight. Yeah, dude. If Pena, or I mean, if Nunez gasses again, that's a good way to look at it. Patrick, what's up, dude? Good to see you hanging out in here. Thanks for hanging out, man. Jogas has 7 wives and 36 mistresses. How is there not one hairdresser amongst them? Well, you know what could have happened too? It could have been one of his wives. She's just mad at him, and then she's like, just relax, honey. I'm going to give you a haircut. You don't need the mirror. You trust me, don't you? And then here we are, right? I don't know, man. Poor Jogas. Poor Jogas. Jogas should be plus 300 for that hair alone. Shame and boo that man. Boo this man. Boo. I love it. Dixon saying, can we take a moment to acknowledge what a trap these sportsbook bonuses are and how they restrict you from cashing out until you complete some lame requirements? But I lost the bonus on Invicta anyways. Yeah, man. I've hit a couple of those bonuses before. Back in the day on FanDuel, I remember a couple of boosts. Like I remember Sean Strickland by decision against Hermanson was boosted. And I was like, I love that. I'm betting that. And then I bet it. And then it was coming back with the split decision after Sean had won all 5 rounds. I'm like, oh my God, did they know something? But they didn't steal it from Sean, but it was pretty funny, man. Those guys, they will, they're not giving you bonuses to be nice guys and being like, man, I hope these guys win a ton of money off of us. And you can't be Snerius is in the house saying, can I call a lawyer? That was my earlier Jogas rant. That beard, though, yeah, man. Jason Peace, what's up, dude? Good to see you hanging out in here. Antonio Esparza saying, Unc, what's up, bro? What's up, Antonio? Good to see you hanging out. Thanks for being here. Yeah, the ladies love that type of beard. They call it the tickler. Now we know why he has 17 lives. He looks like he's in a boy band with like that shitty nanny goat facial hair, man. It's terrible, dude. Zongis looks like he's super glued his pubes onto his neck. That haircut is one thing, but that landing strip is a front to God. I'm with you, Jared. I'm with you, my man. I don't know what the hell he was doing there, but let's all just say a prayer for Zhalgas, but just I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to say it silently in my head. Let's just have like 10 seconds of silence where we're just all of us, all 35 of yous that are hanging out live with your Uncle Weezy right now. Let's just, for the next 10 seconds, just say a silent prayer to God to look over a member of his flock, Zhalgas, who's clearly in his time of need right now. All right. Amen. Come on, Zhalgas. Come on, man. Matthew Chalk saying, I'm never betting women's MMA again after Egger losing. Dude, it's every goddamn week that some minus 300. It's every fucking week. I was confident in Egger too, and never did my money get anywhere near that fight, thank God. But she absolutely ruined my DraftKings cash lineup. So thank you, Stephanie Egger. You lost to maybe the second worst haircut that we've seen this year in Irina Alexeyeva, coming in 5 pounds heavy with a shit haircut, and then you lose to her via knee bar. Lose to Russian Ronda via armbar? No, knee bar. This sport is crazy. Antonio Esparza, yo, Unc, I can't believe Jane DeRoba is still plus money. Am I crazy to think she should be minus 150 or better? The wrestling is such an advantage for her. She's not a great wrestler, Antonio. She's an excellent Brazilian jiu-jitsu player, but her wrestling is just okay. Go watch the second and the third rounds of the Ribas fight. She couldn't get a takedown to save her life against Amanda. Now, I know Amanda's got very good takedown defense, but if she was a good wrestler, she would have found a way. Her wrestling's okay. It looked much better against Hill. She was a lot more aggressive in trying to get those takedowns, and the cardio looked a lot better than it did in the Ribas fight. So if she takes that next step, she could make this look easy if she does go out there and get the takedowns against Marina. Because once she gets that Marina's back flat to the mat, she can keep her there for the rest of the round if she wants. But what she's probably going to do is hunt for a submission and try to finish the fight. So, look, I got Virna by sub at plus 525. I've got a quarter unit on that. I wanted to go a half unit, and I reminded myself that, Marina got out of a couple of bad spots against Mackenzie Dern. So I wouldn't be surprised if she was able to do it again against Virna, but we'll see how it goes. I'm a big fan of Virna, but I had a lot of money on her against Amanda Ribas. And yeah, that one hurt, you guys, because she cleanly won that first round and then got smoked in the second and the third when she couldn't get those takedowns again. And if she doesn't get takedowns against Marina Rodriguez, she's going to get pieced up on the feet. I'm picking Rodriguez, but with no confidence. So, then chase that plus money. There's nothing wrong with betting plus money on women's MMA, Antonio. It's always a bet that has a chance to hit. Trust me. Daz File saying, hit the like. I appreciate you, Daz. Let's do that. Nigel saying, Santos, Ribeiro, Williams, Dober, Esteban. 1 unit plus 607 already fired. Gonna fire again without Esteban for the greasy four-legger. Yeah, I like Santos. I like Ribeiro to win, although I don't want to lay juice on that dude. I don't think he's a very good fighter. It's just that Joe Holmes, that guy's conditioning is so bad that I see why he's the underdog. Dober I like. And then Esteban, man, I don't think Esteban is going to win. I think Zhalgas is going to win. Look, Esteban, somebody showed him that picture of Zhalgas today. He might not sleep until the event. He's going to be like, I'm going to have to, this guy clearly doesn't give a fuck anymore. And now I got to get into a cage and fight this guy. That's terrifying, you guys. That is terrifying. I don't know about Esteban this week, but yeah, De Santos, Ribeiro, Chaos Williams, Dober. I like that, and I would replace Esteban with my guy Kennedy and Chekwu. Jason P saying Andrade got humbled, but I think she wants it back, and we'll go sub round one, neck crank. Yeah, I could see it, man. And she got humbled, but she got humbled up a weight class on short notice, like a week. Look, Jessica Andrade has 8 UFC losses, and I believe that 6 of them are inside the distance, right? 37.5, 37.5, her losses in the UFC, 8 losses, 3 by knockout, 3 by sub. She's been humbled several times. She's a UFC fighter. She will bounce back from being humbled and fight the right game plan for her. And if she executes that game plan, she's going to beat Yan Xiaonan on Saturday. But she's got to get those takedowns, man, because if she cannot get those takedowns, I really do believe that Yan is much, much better of a distance minute winner. And at distance, I don't think that Jessica's very good. She's got to close the distance. Jay Stanford is in the room saying, "Oi, Uncle Weezy, best 6 picks for DraftKings, please." The lineup that I gave out today on the DraftKings show on Pub Sports Radio was Hendry Cejudo, Phil Hawes, Claudio Ribeiro, Kennedy and Chekwu, Movsar Evloev, damn it, I'll have to sign back in. And then, okay, so if you have those 5, whoever leaves no salary left on the table, that's your 6th fighter. It might be Virna. It might be something in the high 7,000s. Could be Virna. Could be let me see. Hawes is in there. Kron Gracie is the that's my cash lineup for this week. We got Real Deal Prime is in the room saying shaved. We got the horse shaved. What's up, dude? Good to see you in here, Real Deal. We got Nacho Buddy Chief saying, are we on Porker this week? I'm picking him to win the fight. I think he's the better all-around fighter. But, I mean, Braxton Smith only needs to hit him once. And, I mean, we're going to find out a little bit more about this kid on Saturday. So my money's staying firmly away from that fight. But I wouldn't mind, a fight doesn't start round 3 for that. Parlaying that, I think that's a pretty good parlay to a violence parlay there. 6-Man Film saying that dude is trying to look like Patty so he can get some greasy decisions his way for once. I think that's probably exactly why he did it. I mean, I'm not even joking about that. They were probably like, dude, if you can't buy a judge's decision, at least joke around about it. Get a Patty the Pimblett haircut, and people will laugh about it. And it'll draw attention to the fact that he has gotten fucked in 3 fights. He won the Molina fight, he won the Johnson fight, and he won the Paiva fight. And I don't think there's a whole lot of I think he definitely won the Molina fight, and I think he definitely won the Paiva fight. The Johnson fight was really close. And shit, man, even the Albazi fight was kind of close. I mean, you could have probably come up with ways to give Jalgas 2 rounds there. So, yeah, this guy, he's getting fucked and fucked and fucked and fucked. So, maybe this is the week that they get him back. We'll find out, man. Tough card, got to take Gilbert. I'm taking Gilbert too, Pat. I'm taking him too, and I don't like it because I fucking hate picking against Bilal Muhammad. I know that Bilal is just so good, but it's the matchup, right? I know that Bilal is at his best and at his most dangerous when he can mix in that grappling, when he knows that he might be a little bit overmatched at stretches on the feet, and then he can get that takedown and get a minute of control time and bring a close striking range, fight that was there for 3.5, 4 minutes and swing it to his favor for the round by getting that takedown, by getting that ground and pound. I don't know if he wants to take down Gilbert Burns. I know Gilbert will let him, but I don't think he wants to play jiu-jitsu with Gilbert. So we're gonna find out. But if Bilal does feel comfortable taking Gilbert down to win minutes, I think he wins this fight. If he's not comfortable doing that, I think Gilbert wins the fight. So we're gonna find out. But then there's also a couple other things. Bilal coming off of Ramadan, he wanted this fight at 175. He had blown up, so it's going to be a tough weight cut for him. And then with Gilbert, he just fought 4 weeks ago, and he went the full 3 rounds. So he's probably got some nicks. He's probably got some bruises, little injuries here and there. 2 weight cuts and 2 fights in a 4-week time span against top-notch competition. That's something to worry about too. So really, I think it's one of the easier fights to stay away from in terms of getting too invested on it. All right. We got Antonio Esparza in the room saying, Yo, Long, speaking of haircuts, who cuts your hair? LOL, just curious. One of my girlfriend's friends cuts it. Pat McAfee is his name. And he works here in the city, and he does fantastic work. It's Patrick, actually, McAfee. Cuts my hair. Great work. Great dude. We got Nigel Lee, a.k.a. Money Bank Lock, saying, ain't nobody in their right mind going to bet on the Russian Ringo Starr. I already bet him. But Nigel, it's not my fault, man. I didn't see the fucking picture until today. You can't blame your Uncle Weezy for this. This is everybody's fault but mine. All right? So, yeah, the bet's down. I got my money on Jalgas. I got my money on that haircut. I mean, what am I supposed to do? My guy M. Tess is in the house. What's up, dude? Saying Weezy the GOAT. I appreciate you, brother. Thanks for hanging out with us. We've got my guy Brandon Olson saying, Oi, Unc, sorry to be late. Feeling pretty good. Going Santos, Jalgas, Hawes, and Crone in a four-legger this week. Now, the Crone pick, I get it, right? If he gets a takedown and gets to this dude's back, it's a wrap. My money's going nowhere near that fight because I don't know what the fuck is going on with Crone Gracie. This guy has fought twice in 7 years. In the last 7 years, he's had 2 fights. They were both in the same year too. It was like late 2019, the last time this dude fought, right? He had 2 fights in 2019, and then before that, he hadn't fought since 2016. So this guy's like regularly taking 3-year breaks from a sport where your prime lasts for about 6 years. So he's basically taken off his entire prime. And now he's 34 years old, trying to make some hay in the featherweight division. It doesn't make any sense. I get the stylistic read on why you would bet Crone Gracie, though. But I'm not saying I'm betting Jourdan. I don't even remember who I picked, to be honest with you, because I have no confidence in that fight at all. Which Crone Gracie shows up, we're going to find out on Saturday. I'm not betting. I'm not guessing because this guy hasn't been around in so long. Yeah, dude, Brandon, I just so we can end the stream right now, that's the haircut. And then look at the facial hair too. He's got this little shitty, looks like somebody glued pubes on his chin. It looks like he fell asleep at a party and somebody's like, let's fuck with Jalgas. I can't believe this, man. Look, the viewers just went from 34 down to 12. I just lost 22 viewers because I put that picture back up again. My God, what has happened to this man? Somebody has to answer for this, everybody. I mean, this is so bad. Appreciate all you guys. Thank you for hanging out with me here on a Wednesday night. Thank you for asking some questions. I'm glad we got to talk some more about these fights. All right, I'm in agreement in the hair and the pube chin. I still think he wins, but it's questionable. Yeah, man, it's ridiculous. And then Real Deal Prime is saying, I'm still here. What's up, dude? Good to see you hanging out. Yeah, man, I'm going to get going, you guys. I appreciate you guys for hanging out here on another episode of Ask Weezy. Check out the Patreon if you guys haven't already. It's the best way to support my work and ensure that I can continue to do this here on YouTube. Patreon /UncleWeezy. Get the advanced stats. Get the prop template where we have all of these betting lines and all of the analytics. You can compare the benchmarks for the division. You can find each of fighters, fight doesn't go to decision, over 2.5, over 1.5. Now you know that Drew Dober in 3-round fights has been over 1.5 rounds 13 out of 20 times. Matt Frevola has been there 4 out of 8. When you add up that, 17 out of 28 makes 60.71 of their fights, 60.71% of their fights are going over 1.5 rounds, and you can compare that to the implied probability of the line. Find out where you're getting, discounts, where you're overpaying. Check out that prop template. Check out the advanced stats. Appreciate all you guys for hanging out. Oh wait, here we got who's Esteban? What does he do well, and why is he the favorite against Jalgas? He wrestles. He's very aggressive. He comes forward. He's got a great gas tank, and he just spams takedowns. And once he gets on top, he tends to stay there. But he's wrestling Brazilians, and a lot of these Brazilians are pure jiu-jitsu players, and they don't mind being on their back. I think a guy like Jalgas, is going to be just getting up every time he gets taken down. So Esteban, we've only seen him on the regional scene so far. So since he's looked very good, there's a lot of hype on him. There's a premium to pay for his line. Oi, I just joined. When is Jalgas the baddie? Shumagulov is up. There he is, man. There he is, dude. Look at Jalgas the baddie. Yeah, man. I got a bet on him. Let's see how it goes, man. Brandon saying, take care, Unc. Good luck this week. Hopefully there's minimal fuckery. Same to you, Victor. Have a great night. Appreciate you guys for hanging out. Hit that thumbs up on your way out. Keep an eye out on this channel for the Greasy 4-leg parlay that's going to be going out on Friday after the weigh-ins. And also keep an eye out tomorrow on the MMA Engine YouTube channel. Myself, Kyle Marley, Lou Betya for props to consider and maybe bet. The only thing left to do, you guys, is to stack cash tickets like flapjacks for UFC 288. Say a prayer for Jalgas Zhumagulov, and God bless each and every one of you guys. Take care and good night.